In today's Upwork profile review, we're going to look at a Webflow expert, a data analyst, and a proofreader. And I'm going to give you some highlights from each of their profiles and what needs to improve so that they can find more clients on Upwork. And just so you know, if you want me to review your Upwork profile, be sure to go to freelancefamilyman.com/contact, submit your name and email in that form and your Upwork profile, and I will consider you for my next Upwork profile review video. So, this first one for a Webflow expert and Figma UI/UX designer. So first of all, title, pretty good. He's focusing on a very specific niche within what he does. Figma, Webflow, UI/UX designer is the broader term. Title's pretty good, but again, like I've given recommendations of before, go to Upwork search and see what other Webflow experts and Figma designers are doing in their titles, ones that are doing really well, and see what they're using as a title. Expert Webflow developer. You don't need to start your description saying exactly what's in your job title. You already said Webflow expert. You don't need to say expert Webflow developer as your first line. That's taking up good real estate. This first sentence is extremely important because it's going to show up in Upwork search. And so you want to make sure that you're focusing on who your target client is and what problem are you solving for them in that first sentence. I keep my services and communication professional at all times. You don't even need to say that. We hope that if you're a good freelancer, that is what you do by default. So don't take up space in your first line of your description saying that. My portfolio consists of designs and websites made from scratch up until the final results. I take care of every detail to make it perfect and unique. This just seems like a lot of words that are unnecessary. Really, when it comes to a description, okay, now you're giving some more details of the services, the skills that you have, that's fine. You don't need to say the years of experience. I tackle complex development and interact challenges with a no-sense attitude. Yeah, it sounds more like a resume, like you're applying for an employee job. Freelancers, you're just talking about, it's a sales pitch for your business is what your description is. You don't want it to sound like an employee resume, where you're saying a lot of the same things that tend to show up in resumes, like I have great communication skills and things like that. So I would focus on really reworking this description so that this first paragraph focuses on, I help who? Okay, who is your target client? Which type of businesses do you want to work with most? I help small creative agencies design their websites so they can increase traffic to their business and grow an audience, or whatever the main benefits are to your services. Focus on that in that very first sentence. So I'd say this is the biggest room for improvement is in your description. And yeah, work history is minimal. Certainly with website design, you want to have your portfolio as extensive as possible with everything you've done that you think is good work. And this might be all you have. If you have more, definitely fill that up with more. And it seems like you have skills that match what you've talked about so far that you've selected here, so that's good. So yeah, I'd say overall, the good thing about your profile is that you're focusing on the niche skills that you have within UI design, within UX design, regarding Figma, regarding Webflow, that you're narrowing down onto those specific platforms because that's where your experience is. And so that's great that you're niche with that. And it's good that you have a video here. Take a quick look. Okay, so it's fairly fancy editing, so that's nice. Now, are you showing websites that you've actually developed? That's one thing. And I wouldn't really show a laptop the entire time. It actually makes it hard to see your designs. I'd have some full screen images of your designs. But overall, these profile videos are meant to be you introducing yourself, who your target client is, what problem you're solving for them, and teach them something about website design. That's where you're going to get the most out of those videos, is to show that you're an expert on what you do by teaching something. So I'd say that's it for now. Okay, moving on to the next one. All right, Eugene, data analyst and insights expert. discover ways. So again, and most people need this recommendation, but I would do the research on various titles of different people who are doing data analysis, because just saying data analyst is very general. It's kind of boring. It's like, what kind of data analyst? What is your niche within that? Now, insights expert might identify more of your niche. I'm just not sure what that is. Discover ways to reduce the time to actionable insights and make better decisions. Okay, you're just giving an adjective to that with data entry, data analysis, and data visualization. Okay, I help businesses turn their data into an asset by using it to create a clear pathway to their desired business results, such as an increase in sales, efficient business operations. Okay. This needs to be the very first sentence, not the second sentence. This needs to be your first sentence. But to tweak it, say, I help what kind of businesses? I help online software businesses. I help health and wellness businesses. What kind of businesses do you help? Because the data for different businesses are going to look different. So pick a niche, pick a target client, make this your first paragraph in your description, and this description is going to be a lot better. And then I would put some more white space in here. This is all looking very busy. It's just not formatted great. And it's just a little longer than it needs to be. So I try to clean some stuff up in here so that all of these more specifics about what you do is a little tighter. It's shorter. There's just not so many words. So I would have one nice opening paragraph that's about that big. And again, put this in front, and then have a couple of bullets here of the various aspects of your process and your skills. And that's going to make that description a lot better. And then again, like I've talked about with the title, do some research there to make sure you have a good title that your target client is using. And with data, yeah, it's good that you have a lot of graphs and things here to show kind of how you've crunched data and what you make it look like using charts and graphs. So that's good. And it's good that you have a fairly extensive portfolio there. Yeah, you have some relevant skills that you've chosen, and some are more niche, so that's great. All right, that's what I'm going to focus on for your profile today. Those things I mentioned about the description and your title, and you should be in a much better position to find more clients. Okay, last one for today: virtual assistant, customer support, a data entry specialist. So, virtual assistant profiles are tricky. It's very competitive. There's a lot of virtual assistants. How do you stand out? You're going to have to go above and beyond to say what type of thing really is your specialty within being a VA. So, because people will hire VAs to do all sorts of things, but they want to know, what is your main skills? Do you have skills with creating presentations? Do you have skills with crunching data? Do you have skills with managing email? Where do you shine the most? Because CEOs who are hiring virtual assistants have specific strengths in mind that they want with their virtual assistant based on what their business needs are. So figure out a specialty within that. Yes, I understand as a virtual assistant, you're also meant to be doing a lot of different things, but there's also going to be an area that you shine in as well, and make sure that you highlight that. You don't need to repeat the fact that your name, you don't need to repeat your name, your rockstar virtual. This is just kind of wasted real estate here in this first sentence. Need a helping and willing hand for your task. Look no further. I'm right here. Let's work on your to-do list together. Too many exclamation points. I do like that it sounds more conversational, that your voice is coming through, but don't have an exclamation point after every single sentence. It starts to overdo it. Maybe on the very last one here, you can put an exclamation point. Don't bother with other freelancers. I wouldn't even say that at all. There's a reason why you're glued to my profile. That's a little bit too much projecting on them what you're assuming they're thinking about your profile. I would just take this whole line out right here. Yeah, take this whole line out. Here are some tasks I can help you with. Email management, research, social media. So this is good, especially as a VA. Having a list of various things that highlight the skills that you have will help the CEO identify whether you can help them with their needs. So this section's good. My work is based on my commitment to my clients. Okay, you can probably tighten this up a little bit, but overall it's okay. I'm very proficient with CRM tools. So this is good. So this is more of a niche, right? of strengths that you have. So I definitely put that maybe sooner in your profile. Okay, you don't need this. This is just overselling. It's overselling. Yeah. And like the part about client satisfaction guaranteed. I mean, how can you guarantee their satisfaction? You actually can't. It's really up to the whole relationship and them and everything else. Yeah, definitely make sure all your skills are very laid out here with being a VA and what variety of skills you have. Yeah, so I'd make those couple of tweaks about your description. Remember, a lot of work to do here. Take your name out. Really say, as a virtual assistant, I help. Which type of CEO do you like working with the most, and really is your target client? What type of CEO is the type where you really shine as a VA? Make sure you identify that in your profile. Make sure that you identify that in the first sentence of your description. That I work with ... types of CEOs who, and really identify that target client, and I help them with ... You really want to sell who you're working for, who you like to work for, and what problem you're solving for them mainly in those first couple of sentences. And that's your biggest sales pitch, is those first couple of sentences. So I'd word it much more like that. Depending on where you live, I understand $5 an hour can go a long way in different areas of the world. But still, as a CEO myself and working with a lot of CEOs, they would be totally willing to pay $15 an hour and even $20 an hour, and they still see that as a pretty good deal for a VA. But if you're only charging $5, they kind of see that as, like, if you're in the single digits, you're under 10 basically, you might actually have a harder time finding clients no matter where you live, because they see that as, oh, you must not be very skilled, you must not be experienced enough. So those are my recommendations for you. That's it for today. Again, if you want me to review your profile, please submit it to freelancefamilyman.com/contact. Just fill out the form, send me your profile, and I will consider it for my next YouTube video. I like reviewing profiles because, yeah, your proposals. Now, something else I want to do is I want to review people's proposals. So please send me a proposal that you've written for a client for a job post, and I will review those as well in a different type of video, because your proposal and your profile are the two main things that are going to land you interviews with clients, and then you got to have some sales skills beyond that to close the deal, but at least your foot's in the door. And so those two things are really important. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends who are freelancers all about that. Freelancing is the way forward. If you want to support a family over the next decade, you need to be freelancing. Seriously. That is the way forward as a parent, especially to be able to provide for your family, is to be self-employed. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.